Scarlett Hayes dumped me again for Brandon Miller. This time, it was at our wedding. Watching her back disappear, a cold, digital voice echoed in my mind. This is the 100th time the female lead has abandoned you for the supporting male. Do you wish to relinquish your role as her male lead? Yes, you can choose a new male lead for the female lead. Brandon Miller. Since these childhood sweethearts couldn't let go of each other, I decided to lock them together forever. Because you were bound to Scarlett Hayes as her male lead by the system, you would always forgive her, no matter what she did. Now, you are free, the digital voice continued. Can she bind me again? I asked. No, she has no right to change the male lead again. When the conversation ended, I felt a profound sense of clarity, like a heavy fog had finally lifted from my mind. Looking at the chaotic scene of family and guests below the stage, I steadied myself, took the microphone from the MC, and announced, I deeply regret that this wedding cannot proceed. I apologize for any disruption or disappointment this may cause. The crowd quieted down. Ms. Hayes just announced a postponement, but I don't agree. From today forward, our engagement is off. We go our separate ways, with no ties between us. The grand ballroom erupted in another uproar, following the bride's unexpected exit. I raised my voice. Additionally, all wedding gifts will be returned twofold. Thank you again for coming. With that, I bowed and walked off the stage, my steps feeling incredibly light. Scarlett and I hadn't formally registered our marriage, and all our friends and family knew it. It wasn't that I was unwilling. She insisted on testing me for another 2 years. Now, I was incredibly grateful for her decision. After all, divorce wasn't an easy process. As I reached the last step, my parents came rushing towards me. Son, is what you said true? Have you really thought this through? My mom asked excitedly, grabbing my hand. She had always felt Scarlett and I were a bad match. Forget our family backgrounds, the main thing was she simply didn't hold me in her heart. But between us, I was always the one who loved more. My mom wasn't happy about it, but she never forced her interference. At this moment, she looked at me with hopeful eyes, wanting to confirm if her wish had finally come true. My dad pulled her back, calmly saying, he's just saying angry things, don't take him seriously. One call from her and he'd be crawling back, tail between his legs. You always believe him. The disappointment and helplessness in his tone were palpable. Most people present probably thought the same as my dad. The light in my mom's eyes instantly faded. She murmured, you're right. In that moment, my heart clenched, a sharp, piercing pain. When I had no bottom line in love, constantly giving in, wasn't that also a torment for my family, who loved me so much? This time, it's real. Trust me. I held my parents' hands, promising them, we trust you. They fell silent, then patted me dismissively. Their expressions clearly showed they didn't believe me. And why would they? Scarlett had abandoned me for Brandon 100 times, and I had forgiven her 99 times. My track record of always forgiving her made my promise sound utterly hollow. But it didn't matter. I would prove myself eventually. As our family of 3 chatted, Scarlett's parents approached. Julian, really, why say such angry things on stage? If you upset Scarlett, you'll just have to sweet-talk her later, won't you? How about this? You help me secure that property deal in the East District, and I'll put in a good word for you. The paunchy, arrogant man standing before me was Scarlett's father, Patrick Hayes. There was a time when he would grovel and fawn over me. Now, he was practically walking all over me. All because of my indulgence and endless concessions to Scarlett. Mr. Hayes, Scarlett and I have ended our engagement. I don't need you to put in a good word for me with her. I won't be helping with the property deal. Furthermore, Sterling Enterprises will cease all collaborations with your company, and all investments will be withdrawn. His small, near-bankrupt company had only been revived with the support of Sterling Enterprises, but it seemed this whole family of ingrates had conveniently forgotten. Mr. Hayes' face immediately turned sour, and he pointed a finger at my nose, yelling, fine, I won't help you. Just you wait, you'll come crawling back to my daughter, begging like a dog. Slap. My mom slapped his oily face. You insult my son again, and I'll break your jaw. She had always been gentle and kind, but at that moment, she was like a lioness protecting her cub. I'm just stating facts. How is that an insult? Isn't that exactly what your wonderful son has been doing all these years? Mr. Hayes didn't dare hit back, but his mouth wouldn't quit. What does it matter if you're rich and powerful? With a son so utterly blinded by love, your family's reputation is on the ground for me to trample. I walked right up and dislocated his jaw, staring into his eyes. Get out. He stumbled back a few steps in fright. Scarlett's mother, Brenda Hayes, caught him, looking at me with disdain and certainty. We'll be waiting for you, your whole family, to come and apologize. With that, she dragged Mr. Hayes away, strutting off as if she'd won. My parents looked at me in shock, then with apprehension. We're not going with you to apologize. I'm not going either, I swore. They fell silent. Just after seeing off a wave of guests, my assistant approached. Mr. Sterling, should the PR department handle the trending topics and online buzz? I checked online. The discussion about this wedding was off the charts. Several hashtags were at the top of the trending list. Hashtag Scarlett Hayes runaway bride. Hashtag Scarlett Hayes dumps Julian for Brandon at wedding. Hashtag Julian Sterling announces engagement off. Scarlett Hayes fans were having a field day. So satisfying. That's my girl, Scarlett. The Sterling heir is nothing but a dog to her. Our queen just dumped him. Give him face? Not a chance. Looks like the fated Prince Charming still can't beat the childhood sweetheart. The Sterling heir had to practically grovel for this wedding, but our girl ran off with one wave from her childhood friend. Oh, look, the Sterling heir is actually talking tough now. I bet he'll be on his knees begging Scarlett within 3 days. Poor Sterling heir, after all these years he didn't even get an official title, just the reputation of a pathetic simp. My girl Scarlett is truly a boss. Scarlett was right not to legally register the marriage. She can walk away anytime. Even with so many important people at the wedding, our girl still did what she wanted. So what if he's the Sterling heir? In our girl's eyes, he's just a plaything. Scarlett is living the ultimate female lead power fantasy. The screen was filled with such comments. Even though Scarlett was clearly in the wrong, her fans cleverly spun it as a bold act of female empowerment, making their idol untouchable. A few sensible bystanders dared to comment amidst the chaos. Fans, don't you think you're being a bit too arrogant? Your queen is where she is today thanks to the sterling heir throwing money at her career. Otherwise, with her average looks and mediocre acting, she wouldn't have made it. Fans immediately jumped on them. Get lost. Scarlett made it this far all on her own. Stop giving credit to that stinky man. He only ever held our girl back. Like idol, like fans, they were just as cold-hearted and ungrateful. I was the one who took Scarlett from being a nobody in the entertainment industry to a trending young actress. If I could raise her up, I could certainly pull her down. No need to deal with the online comments. Leave them all up. Free Scarlett Hayes out. Replace her in all her projects. If they can't be replaced, terminate the contracts. I'll cover the penalty fees. Scarlett's management contract was with a production company under Sterling Enterprises, and it still had 2 years left. I wasn't completely cutting her off, after all. The contract terms were fairly loose, and the penalty fees wouldn't be a huge burden for Scarlett. My assistant looked at me in surprise, then cautiously spoke. Mr. Sterling, I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear that. Do exactly as Mr. Sterling said. Even if he changes his mind, I'm here. You won't be implicated, my dad interjected. Thank you, Chairman Sterling. The assistant immediately went to execute the orders. Just then, Scarlett's call came through. Brandon's been arrested. Get him out for me, and clean up this mess. Her tone was icy, like she was giving orders to a subordinate. I frowned, hung up, and blocked her number. Soon, an unknown number called, and it was Scarlett again. Julian Sterling, what do you mean by this? Brandon only got into that fight because of me. Because that guy was slandering me.